clubs. This first meeting being dubbed Let's Talk Interact. So welcome presidents, welcome youth service chairs, fellow Rotarians. Thank you so much for your attendance, and let's talk interact. There's absolutely nothing more inspiring and fulfilling than a group of youngsters happily immersed in service and giving back to their communities. And in District 7030, with almost 70 clubs across 14 territories, we are without a doubt continuously being inspired and energized by our interactors. So we have a huge interact story to share across the region and internationally. This year, we want to ensure that our interactors are showcased and given the requisite visibility. But to do this, we must ensure that we have well-coordinated plans and that we have a shared vision for Interact in the district. The District Interact Committee is here this afternoon to start this discussion on how we can together successfully advance the district's Interact program. So please allow me at this time to introduce the committee. Our District Interact Chair is Past Assistant Governor Luana Kona, who has been a Rotarian for 14 years and is a member of the Rotary Club of Starbrook. During this time, she served as President, Secretary, and Director on several occasions. She's a past Assistant Governor, a position she has held for 3 consecutive years. Our committee members are Wahida Ali. Wahida joined the Rotary Club of Georgetown Central in June 2018 and served as the club secretary and chair of the club administration committee in the 2019-2020 year. She was reinstated as the club secretary for this Rotary year. Previously, Wahida served as a Rotaractor of the Rotary Club of Georgetown Central for several years. Another committee member, Nada Ramkisoon. Nada was inducted as a member in 2015 in the Rotary Club of Pinal. She has been on the board of directors since 2016, and Nada served as the president of the Rotary Club of Pinal for the Rotary year 2018-2019. You know that special year with the theme Be an Inspiration, Nada? Sharon McDonald is another committee member. Sharon is the current Interact Chair of the Rotary Club of Paramaribo, and she joined Rotary in July 2015 and has held several board positions as well. Imtiaz Sipasad is also a committee member, a former past president, and joins us from the Rotary Club of St. Augustine. Rounding off the committee, it's yours truly, currently the district secretary. I've been a Rotarian for 6 years, and I'm a member of the Rotary Club of St. Lucia. I served as president for the Rotary year 2018-2019. The introductions are decidedly brief, but I can assure you that this is a team of Rotarians passionate about the youth and more specifically about Interact. So without any further ado, having completed our introductions and having discussed the Zoom protocol, I would now like to invite District Interact Chair Luana to present her plans. Thank you. Over to you, Chair Luana.
Thank you, District Secretary Saraya. Good afternoon and welcome to everyone. Is everyone hearing me? Great. Now, I am not a slow speaker, but if I'll get in trouble with Sean if I don't make a very good attempt to speak slowly. So if I'm going too slow, please let me know. I'll try to keep it at a regular pace. Okay, let me share my screen. All right. So this afternoon, we wanted to share with you our plans for the year for Interact, and also to assist the clubs in addressing the situation we currently have found ourselves in, which is the COVID-19 situation. And we have schools that are closed for extended periods of time. We didn't want Interact to suffer because of that. So this afternoon, we will attempt to assist clubs in giving them ideas and helping to guide them in how they can start to implement their Interact program for the year. We will start with the outline of this presentation and the meeting, where we will present briefly our plans for the 2020-2021 Rotary year. And we would hope that clubs will pay attention and ensure that their individual club plans are aligned with the district's objectives for the year. We will also, as I said, give you ideas on how to engage Interact during COVID-19 and beyond. The committee is hoping to set the stage for change going forward. Hence, the topic is COVID-19 and beyond. We know you have challenges. We have challenges too. We will share our challenges with you, and we encourage you to share your challenges with us. So together we can brainstorm and come up with solutions so we can move our Interact program forward. And then we need you to tell us what support you need from the district, and then we will go into an open discussion. So just some fun facts in case you didn't know. Interact is a big deal. 342 young leaders coming up. That's 342 potential Rotarians. And this is how our committee is looking at Interact now. The statistics of Interactors that transition into Rotaract and to Rotary, it's very low. We're hoping that with the aggressive program that we have planned for this year, that we can stir enough interest and nurture our Interactors to a point where they will want to stay into Rotary. So we've developed a vision for Interact for this year, acknowledging that it's a dynamic youth program that has the potential to fuel a lifetime of service in Rotary. Interact is the future of Rotary, and this year our district Interact committee wants to promote and give visibility to our Interact clubs, showcase our Interactors and their projects, and develop and train them, because we consider them to be our future leaders. And we want to also develop a platform so we can cultivate productive relationships between Rotary, Rotaract, and Interact. We've included Rotaract here only because you can jump from Interact ideally into Rotary, but we want them to go through the process of transition to become Rotarians. So under the heading of cultivating productive relationships, we think that we encourage and sponsor clubs to devise mechanisms such as building strong relationships with the Interact boards and faculty advisors. We think this is a productive way to start the conversation and to build a productive relationship that we are hoping sponsor clubs will have with the Interact clubs. We encourage the sponsor clubs to devise mechanisms to collaborate, to bring Rotaract and Interact together. Interact, because of the age group, might tend to relate more to Rotaractors and then Rotarians. So this is why we're trying to push a close collaboration between Rotaract and Interact to make the transition from Interact easier. When the time comes, they will be familiar with their Rotaract clubs, and the transition will be smoother and easier for them to make. We would like the youth service directors to visit Interact meetings as much as we would like Interactors to visit sponsor club meetings, and it's very easy to do now with the online facilities that we're using. But we also want the youth service directors to visit the meetings and provide as much guidance as possible to them. We would like Interact clubs to show in a, sponsor clubs, sorry, to show in a tangible way their interest in what Interact is doing. So when you invite them to your meetings, have them report on their projects. Ask them, what are you working on? How can we help? When they have projects, go to their projects. Have them visit your projects. And we're encouraging that at least one project for the year to be implemented jointly with Interact, Rotaract, and Rotary. And a suggestion that the Childhood Obesity Project that's been requested by DG Lyle is a very good project for the collaboration to take place. And in your strategic plans, we encourage sponsor clubs to include retention and nurturing strategies for interactors. We don't want to lose the interactors. The percentage of interactors that actually transition to Rotaract and Interact is around 5 to 8%. That's very low, and this is something we have to change. We're developing our young leaders, and we have to nurture them to keep them in the Rotary family. And of course, invite them to your fellowships and show them that Rotarians can have fun too. The District Interact Committee embarked on a needs assessment for all the Interact clubs in the district. Unfortunately, this effort has been stymied somewhat with the closure of schools. We're trying to see how we can work around assistant sponsor clubs in getting to their Interact clubs. We only have around 13 out of 70 clubs that have submitted their assessments and their contact information for this current Rotary year. It is very low, a very low response rate, but we understand why. I'm sorry, that's my dog. That's this. I don't want to yell at him. Okay, sorry about that. So, but we're hoping that sponsor clubs, and we will discuss this further down, we're hoping sponsor clubs can encourage Interact clubs to have their elections online so that we can move forward with the plan. Clubs can move forward with their plan for their Interact clubs also. And we would like the club's plan and the district plan to be somewhat in sync with each other. So at the end of the day, we will both achieve our objectives. We also have a very ambitious training program plan for Interact, consisting of Rotary and non-Rotary topics. And the training program will be customized as much as possible based on the results of the needs assessment. We're hoping to commence the end of this month into early October, where, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. And we are going to be doing the training will take place district-wide, and we're also available to do specific club training, especially for the new boards and the roles and responsibilities of boards. We have started, and we have no issue continuing and supporting sponsor clubs in conducting board training. We can merge boards so that ideas can be shared across the district. The idea is to bring the interactors together as much as possible. And with the many disadvantages they are to COVID, I think this is one advantage, that we have a golden opportunity to introduce Rotaractors across the rivers, across the district, the different countries. And so we're not only going to stick to training in one country at a time, we're going to be merging the training as much as we can. And of course, we will be hosting webinars as necessary to provide guidance and motivation to interactors for project ideas that they wish to discuss and how we can help them to enhance the Interact experience. As I mentioned just now, cultivating future leaders depends heavily on training. So we are going to provide training in key non-Rotary areas. Career guidance, we know that this is a topic that all interactors and young people are generally interested in. They're all usually at the crossroads when they get to that age of what stream to go in. We are we're going to try to provide some guidance on that, and to have various leadership development programs to work with them on that, and to teach them the importance of volunteerism with the specific objective of ensuring that they stay in Rotary. We also would like to encourage clubs who have not yet sponsored Interact clubs to consider doing so, and we're willing to work with clubs to facilitate that startup process. Clubs who already have Interact clubs, and if there's a need, do a quick assessment of your community and see if there's a need for more clubs, then we are willing to work with you also to provide that support to increase the number of Interact clubs in the district. We would like to do aggressive public relations drive for Interact, but Rotarian Narda will go into that in more detail. So how are we engaging in, that's our plan. That's a synopsis of the district Interact plan for the year. I hope that the club plans are also going to reflect some of the district's objectives. So at the end of the year, we would both have achieved what we set out to. Of major concern is how we can engage our interactors during the COVID-19 period and most definitely beyond. So new leaders are emerging. Young members have the potential to go on to be great Rotary members. But I strongly believe for that to happen, we must first nurture them. It's not okay to have an Interact club and periodically visit them. It's not okay to not fully participate in their program and have them participate in yours. You have to understand that the younger generation, they react differently to changes, and we must understand how these changes in society can affect them. They're generally motivated to change, to make changes in their communities, and they move quicker than we did when we were their age along their career paths. More importantly, they want to build networks and learn from mentors, from people with clout, people with experience, people who can help them to take that leap into adulthood. We can be that person. That's us, Rotarians. We can be their network, their mentors, and we can be the connections that they need. So how do we do that? I mentioned earlier, invite interactors to your meetings. But don't just invite them and have them just sit there making up numbers. Allow them to participate. Ask them about their ideas, their passions, have getting to know you sessions. Brainstorm ideas for service projects. Discuss what they want to accomplish as a club, and then reinforce how your club and Rotary can help them to achieve it. Mentorship is key at this point. I've read so many articles about how COVID-19 and this lockdown is affecting young people and old people. We're the in-between people, but we have an opportunity to focus on helping the young people. And I think that mentorship is important, and they're Rotarians who can really be a guiding light to our young leaders. And so we're suggesting you set up sort of a buddy system to pair a Rotarian with an interactor. Rotarians make great mentors, we know that. And make sure that your club show Interact how interesting Rotary can be, and show them that Rotary can be interesting for them also. Set up challenges for clubs to engage in. Projects, joint projects, even, just give them a challenge, a competition, or any activity they can do in their own homes. One of the ideas we've been throwing around at the committee level is to have them express, maybe through art, how COVID is affecting them, or have them write an essay and, give them a prize, judge the essay, give them a prize for the winning essay. Just encourage them to express themselves and how they're feeling. What has this lockdown done to them? They can't meet with their friends, they can't socialize, they can't go to the gaming room. Everything has to be done within the confines of their home. That cannot be easy for young people. Rotary has an obligation to assist our young ones in that regard. Have online speakers come to your Zoom meetings who can connect with and motivate young people. Some of us, no matter how we try, we're not a motivational speaker. We can get the job done, but in terms of inspiring them and engaging them for 30 minutes, some of us have that gift. Find those persons within your club, and there are many of those in the district also. Have them speak at your meetings, because motivating the young people at this point is very important. Again, appoint mentor buddies. One thing that I have discovered is, at least locally here in Guyana, there are lots of children who are experiencing a lot of difficulty with online learning only because they don't have access to the resources. They either don't have internet, or they don't have a laptop, they don't have a tablet, they don't have a phone. So they have to be at home. They can't go to school to learn, but they have to, so they're being left behind. Rotarian mentor can probably assist their buddy with getting a tablet for them or getting a laptop for them. Many people have 2 laptops, they're not using the second one. They can donate it to an interactor to assist them. We must know what our vulnerable interactors are experiencing. We must know what they're going through, and the only way we can do that is by talking to them. They mightn't want to say what they're feeling at an entire meeting, but certainly if you appoint buddies and they are able to build that relationship, I think that there's a lot of help to be had there. So clubs, please consider an approach like that and make use of RI's resources. There are lots of learning available through the Learning Center, and we encourage you to make sure that you expose your interactors to that sort of learning. You can, or it can be organized, or you can let them know what's available and have them go in their own time, those who are able to, and then have a discussion about it, whatever topic you tell them to go and go through the webinar. You know, there are so many options available. So as I said earlier, we will facilitate the training, and so this is how our committee will engage with Rotaract at the district level. All of you will know that the Toastmasters is engaging Rotary in a collaboration to create tailored speaking courses. And we think this is a wonderful opportunity for young people, especially, to improve their public speaking capability. And is a great way also for the youth to get engaged in Rotary. So they're not just attending meetings, but they must have the ability and the capacity to get up and deliver a speech on a topic. It's really awesome. I didn't learn to do that until 14 years ago when I became a Rotarian. I would have wished to have this sort of opportunity in my younger days. So I think this is a wonderful opportunity that we should push our interactors to experience this collaboration with Toastmasters and Rotary. It's also a way for them to open them to new opportunities and to grow their personal networks and gain leadership experiences and improve their communication skills. We also encourage sponsor clubs to support their interactors to attend the online RILA. It's going to be online this year, so there's no excuse. I know there's a fee attached, but please try as much as possible, because I know the program is going to be dynamic. We will also be conducting district-wide competitions. You will hear more about that as the year unfolds. And we will also have virtual getting to know you sessions with interactors, just so we can expand their network and we can share experiences country to country. So there are lots of wonderful things that interactors do in Guyana that the interactors in St. Lucia would love to hear about and probably replicate. We'll also be doing a quarterly newsletter to showcase interactors and their projects. And we hope that you or your interactors can submit material to us so that we can make a big splash out of it. We feel that this is a way to motivate them by giving them recognition for the good work that they are doing and going to be doing. We'd like to remind clubs that they can have their Interact elections online. So don't let the fact that we can't meet in person stop you. Try to set up WhatsApp groups and maintain contact with your interactors. Complete also the Interact Club health check and send it to us so that we can start our job in a big way. And of course, submit contact information so that we can deal directly with the interactors and the club liaison officers. In the meantime, we are going to start the elements of our annual program that we can accomplish online. And that, of course, is the training and these getting to know you sessions, and any assistance outside of what I've mentioned here, these focus areas that we are going to be working on. Anything outside of that clubs feel they need assistance with, please feel free to make contact with any member of the committee. We promise we will respond to you within a few hours. The committee is very efficient like that, I must say. So we will be providing the support that is needed. So after District Secretary Soraya and Rotarian Narda would have finished with their presentations, we will go into our discussion on what challenges clubs are experiencing and how we can provide assistance to you. So thank you for listening. I hope you have lots of questions for us, and I'll now hand it over to District Secretary Soraya.
Thank you, Chair Luana, for that comprehensive presentation. Rotarians, as indicated by Chair Luana, I will move into a very short presentation on Interact Awards. Just bear with me as I share my screen. Luana, if you could stop sharing yours, please.
Sorry.
There we go. Can everyone see my screen? Okay. Before we move into the actual awards presentation, though, allow me to provide some background to the awards, because we will be speaking about the Interact citation and other awards. These awards, as crafted, will encourage Interact clubs to have well-balanced club programs that are focused on Rotary's action plan. The action plan, as we know, being to increase our impact, expand our reach, enhance participant engagement, and increase our ability to adapt. And so if you as leaders scrutinize the goals and objectives outlined in these awards, you will realize that there are important learning opportunities for each interactor from a Rotary perspective, of course, and from a personal development perspective as well. Our Interact clubs are, for the most part, internally or locally focused, but we need to expose them to the internationality, if you will, of Rotary and the global impact of Interact, as we are, in effect, developing service-oriented global citizens. So we want our interactors to build international understanding, to discover new cultures, and be able to connect with other young leaders around the world. So the involvement in these awards, we believe, will support this intent and will allow our interactors into a world full of Interact and Rotary possibilities. So we are encouraging you to use the Interact Club citation and award activities to help plan your year or your Interact year, so that clubs can have an opportunity to get more involved in Rotary and qualify for and or obtain these global and regional awards. So let's get into the actual awards. The first award is the Rotary Citation Interactors, of course, for this Rotary year. This award is actually administered by Rotary International, and the elements of it, in fact, the entire program is available on the RI website and has actually been circulated to all of you as presidents. So what we've highlighted on the screen this afternoon is really the salient points, the deadlines, and things that you really need to be paying attention to. The Interact clubs are eligible for recognition for their work supporting Rotary's action plan, as I'd already indicated. The citation this year from Rotary has 20 goals identified. However, clubs need to select at minimum 11 of these goals to actually qualify for the citation, right? And they do have the entire year to achieve these goals and earn the citation. Key here is that only Interact clubs that are listed as active on Rotary International's database can actually apply for this citation, right? And we have a tip here that to confirm that your club is active, you need to check the listing of sponsored organizations in Rotary Club Central. Key here again is the deadline. All activities need to be completed and the nomination form submitted by August 2021. If clubs require any additional information on the citation, please reach out to the committee. What we have here is a simple snapshot of the goals, the 20 goals, but we do not have all 20 listed here. As I said, it's just a snapshot. And of course, if you have any questions related to the goals, please, you can ask these questions, post them in the chat group, or reach out to us after the presentation. The second Interact Award that's available for our interactors this year is the Zone 34 Interact Award. It's somewhat implied that it's being administered by our Zone 34 Rotary Coordinator. This award is slightly less involved than the Rotary citation from the perspective that there are less goals to attain. However, it is an achievable as the Rotary citation, and we just need to get our clubs focused on these requirements. So Interact clubs are essentially asked to complete a questionnaire to test their activities, and this award is based on a point system, so that there are points attached to every activity that you are able to execute. Once your activities are completed, your application can be submitted through your Rotary Club president to the district governor, and not Rotary International as I indicated, but this is a Zone 34 administered Interact Award. The district governor will sign off on this application and is submitted no later than the 15th of April next year. But you do have a deadline of 31st of March 21 to get this in. Again, a snapshot here of what these activities look like. In fact, these are all the activities that relate to the Zone 34 citation or award, right? And if you skim through or scrutinize these questions, you will see that every single one of them are achievable, right? So there really is no reason why our clubs cannot participate in these awards. The final award that I am going to be speaking about is, again, a Rotary administered award, and it's actually referred to as the Rotary Interact Award. I have inserted the word visual because with this particular award, Rotary is asking Interact clubs to submit a video, photos, and/or an essay on their club's best service project or leadership development activity. If you submit your nomination by 1st December 2020, your clubs stand a chance of being named Best Video, Best Photo, or Best Essay. This award actually has a bonus in that Rotary is prepared, or Rotary has offered a donation to support the winning Interact Club's project. As well, you receive an award plaque and a letter from the Rotary International president. The key here is that we pay attention to all the deadlines that have been inserted, and you want to make sure that you have these conversations with the Interact clubs. We would absolutely love for every single one of our Interact clubs to get involved, right? We hope that with this explanation of the awards that you are enthused about participation as we are. And we look forward to all the submissions by the timelines indicated. I mean, I have actually said already that these award requirements can be easily met by our clubs. And I'm sure that you will agree once these are given focus and are action. So these are our 3 awards, and I thank you for your attention this afternoon. At this point, I will call on past President Nada from the Rotary Club of Pinal to speak on our Interact Club's use of social media. Thank you so much.
Narda, you need to unmute. Narda, please unmute.
Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Soraya. This afternoon, I will be speaking about our new Facebook group that we have created for the Interact Club in our district, and some of the do's and don'ts of this Facebook group, and any questions that you all have, you can ask after. So a little fun fact about Facebook. So Facebook was founded in 2004, and their mission was to give people the power to build community and bring the world closer together. We use Facebook to stay connected with friends and family, to discover what's going on in the world, and to share and express what matters to them. And that is one of the reasons that we want to have the interactors in one place, in one Facebook group, so that we can build a community, they can share projects with their friends and family. And worldwide, there are 2.7 billion monthly users of Facebook. And this is taken from June 30th, 2020. So we know that we can connect a lot of interactors via this medium. So why should we use a Facebook group? We wanted to have all the Interact clubs showcased in one group where everybody can see their work, their friends, their family. They can see work from other Interact clubs around the district. It's a good place for the dissemination of information. So we will be posting when we will be having any training, any meetings for the interactors, any competitions, any events. We'll be reminding them of their deadlines, and all of this could be found in one place. They can learn from other clubs. So sometimes they want to do a project, but not really sure of an idea. They can get ideas from clubs around the district, and they can learn from each other. We on the committee could also receive direct feedback from the interactors instead of having to go through the Rotary clubs, because sometimes information get lost. So they can ask us directly for help. They can ask us questions directly on this Facebook group. It can also encourage new members to join Interact clubs. So they can share this group with their peers, with their friends at school, and encourage them to join Rotary and Interact. And it can also facilitate connectivity with Rotaractors and Rotarians. So they would not only be speaking amongst themselves, but they can get projects, ideas, help from Rotaractors and Rotarians as well. If we think about the safety of using Facebook and the interactors being at school and school age, we have set up the group that only friends and family of Rotary are allowed into the group, meaning that if someone wants to join the group, they have to answer 3 questions before they are entered into the group, such as what Rotary Club or Interact Club or Rotaract Club they are from, if they are affiliated with Rotary, or if they are like a friend or family of Rotary, so we would admit them into the club. Another way that you can join the group is if one of the admins add you as a member, and then you have to answer any questions. And then when you become a member, you could also add members, and we trust that you would only invite Rotarians, Rotaractors, friends and family of Rotary that has the interactors' best interests. And then the group is also monitored by Rotarians. So anything that we see that is not appropriate, we will not allow it to be posted on the group. Some content guidelines on content that interactors should post. We should ensure that permission is granted from the school and or the parents, because it would be pictures and information about students. So we want to ensure that the school and parents have granted permission for us to use these pictures. If consent is not received, some parents don't want their kids on Facebook, we would encourage that the interactors post pictures of their projects rather than post pictures of themselves in the project, but maybe the final results of the project. With the help of teachers, we want to ensure that the posts and pictures are appropriate. Example, we want to ensure that their clothing is appropriate, their posture, their pose, their language, and also how relevant it is to Rotary and the projects that they're doing. And if they want any type of guidelines on the type of post or how to create posts, they can you and the instructors can visit the Rotary Brand Center, where you would learn to create Interact logos, learn about Rotary branding, presentation, colors, and lots of examples of how pictures should be used in Rotary. And now for your call of action, what we want you to do is we want you to go on Facebook and look for Interact District Group. This here is what we're looking for on the left. This is what it would look like on Facebook, Interact District Group, and you will see members. And then we want you to join the group. Fill out the questionnaire, join the group, and we will admit you into the group. When you have become a member of the group, we want you to share or invite members of Interact, Rotarians, Rotaract, and any Rotary family. We want you to encourage Interact participation. Sorry. I don't know why it's doing that. Sorry. We want you to encourage Interact participation. Send us their projects to showcase. I have started populating this in Facebook group, and one of the things that I've noticed is that clubs don't actually showcase some of their Interact groups. So I've been going to clubs' profile pages to look for Interact stories, and there are no posts in many clubs. There are no posts of what your Interact clubs have been doing and the projects that they have been doing. So we want to showcase all our interactors, and they would want to, it would encourage them to do more projects when they are rewarded. So thanks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nada. At this point, we will move into the open discussion segment, which will be managed by Chair Luana. Thank you, Chair Luana.
Thank you, Soraya. Well, Wahida and Imtiaz are supposed to be monitoring the questions, so are there any questions? Let me see. Lots of persons are asking for the presentation to be sent to them, which we'll be happy to do. Please send your email address to the district secretary, and we will disseminate the emails tonight, I guess, or as early as possible. This question is a copy of the questionnaire. I'm assuming the person, is it the Galaxy Note 10 person from Pointe-a-Pierre, Guadeloupe? I assume the questionnaire you're asking about is the needs assessment. It was sent out twice, but you can make a request directly to the district secretary or anybody in the committee, and we'd be happy to share it with you again. The presentations will also be available on the district's website, all 3 presentations, so feel free to download them, or we can email them to you. Are there any questions? Please raise your hand.
Luana, I'm seeing one here from Diane Rajpal. Where can the health check documents be located for Interact clubs?
Okay, so Diane, we'd be happy to email it to you. Please make a request to the committee. It was sent out twice already, but we will be happy to send it again. Please make a request to the district secretary or any member of the committee, and we will get it to you. A point to note is, I know that some eyebrows probably went up when we spoke about mode of dress for the posting of pictures on the Interact page. There's just that we want to assure you that we will not encourage, you know, young people have a tendency to dress in a semi-nude way or too short pants. We want to be responsible when we're showcasing our interactors. They're young adults, and we don't want to put any photo out there that can be suggestive. So just to clarify that point for the eyebrows that went up for the mode of dress. Are there any other questions? Presentations will be sent out, yes. There are lots of clubs that have not yet had their Interact elections. Remember, again, it can be done online. That would greatly assist us in moving ahead with our program. Who raised their hand? Okay, I'm going to unmute this person that raised their hand. Okay. Galaxy. There is Galaxy. Sean, if you can hear me, Sean, I'm not getting to unmute participants. Could you assist us, please? Okay, how to help clubs to create other clubs in Guadeloupe. You have to assess your community and determine if there's a need, and then take it from there. There's a minimum number of members you need to have so you can start doing your research and your information gathering, and then we can assist you to take it from there. But you have to, I encourage you strongly to make sure a proper assessment is done, because the last thing we want to do is to start a club and not be able to sustain it. It is just going to be active for a few months or a year, and then the club collapses. So please make sure there's a need. Much as we would like to have more Interact clubs, we have to make sure that there's a need for it and it will be sustainable. The other thing I wanted to say is that there are lots of clubs on the RI's register that are active, that are listed as inactive only because the information has not been updated. There are also inactive clubs that are listed as active. So can sponsor clubs please go on, have your secretary go on and ensure that the information is up to date. And if you have an inactive status and you know you are active, please contact us and we'd be happy to assist you. Our interactors select Interact as part of their activities at the beginning of the school year. We are without an interactor at the moment, interactive moment. So this is why we suggested trying to reach them through use technology. Try to set a WhatsApp group with your interactors, especially your board members. And the board members will assist in building the group and getting all the interactors on board. I know it's difficult, but I think we have to think beyond what is normal or easy, which would be to just go to the school. So try as much as possible to ensure that you have contact information. I would like to assume that all clubs have at least a register with an address, email, a physical address, an email address, a telephone number, which it would just take time to be able to reach all your interactors, but try to do that and get all your interactors into a WhatsApp group so you can start communicating with them. In-person club meetings are not being allowed. Are there any recommendations for holding online meetings? Yes, once you're able to have contact information for your interactors, then having a Zoom meeting is going to be pretty straightforward after that. Yes, Interact clubs can do joint projects with other Interact clubs. This is something we are going to encourage, which is one of the main reasons that we are going to be doing the Getting to Know You sessions to help clubs across the district meet each other and get to know each other and share information with each other. And we're hoping out of that joint projects will emerge and stronger networks are going to be built. Wahida and Imtiaz, did I miss any question?
No, you did not, but I noticed Leighton Khan hand is raised.
And he's been unmuted, so he should be able to.
Okay, Leighton Khan, go ahead.
Can you go ahead?
Thank you, Lana. From the Rotary Club of St. Lucia. I just wanted to underscore the point that was made earlier about involving the interactors as much as you possibly can with your club projects. Recently, our club partnered with another charitable organization. They gave us over 300 pairs of shoes to distribute to the needy. A lot of these shoes were for small feet, young people and children. And so rather than distribute those shoes ourselves as Rotarians, we gave most of it to the interactors and the Rotaractors for them to use them as a project for themselves to distribute within their communities. And they were very happy to receive these shoes and to have a project to do and to get involved. And so I think it's really important that in as much as we can, depending on the type of project, that we should bring them in. But I'd also make the point that we should be careful that it doesn't come across that we're using them to just do work that we want to get away from. Because I know in previous projects we've done it with the Rotaractors, they sometimes felt they were just being used to do some of the work. And so we should be careful that we don't let them feel they're just being used to do work. But we really just want to engage them and to get them involved in a meaningful way. So I just wanted to make that point that we should involve them as much as we can. Thank you.
Absolutely, and hence the term we use, joint projects, which suggests all hands on deck and not just interact, because I could understand how it can be misconstrued if you just hand it to them to do the work. But if the Rotarians are there and you involve Rotaract also, then it's a joint project and we're collaborating, so it makes it easier. Thank you for that input, Leighton. Any other questions? No? Okay, Soraya, over to you if there are no other questions.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. If there are no other questions, it means that we were very explicit in our presentations. And of course, we've articulated very clearly that if you want to discuss Interact individually, you can reach out to any member of the Interact committee, and certainly Chair Luana is available to speak to any president here this afternoon and other presidents who are interested in advancing the district Interact program. So at this point, I want to thank everyone for taking the time out of their busy schedules to join us here this evening to participate in this session. Let's Talk Interact. We look forward to further engagement as the year progresses. And as indicated, please feel free to reach out to the DIC or committee members should you have any other queries or any ideas or plans that you may have and wish to share. Our next session will be with clubs who have not yet sponsored a youth club or an Interact club, as we strive to grow our district 70-30 portfolio and ensure that we have Interact in all our English and French territories. I do believe that we have a French participant, the Guadeloupe Club, who would like to perhaps speak with us separately on advancing Interact within Guadeloupe. So unless there are no other questions, I want to just thank the Interact committee for their presentations this afternoon, and again, thank everyone for joining us here this evening. Thank you very much.